What's up, guys? Holding Alex with you here, bringing you Black Clover manga review. This is chapter 194, titled Spit or Sprite, depending on how you read it and what language. But this was a very good chapter. Sadly, it was short, like the rest of the Black Clover chapters that's been coming out lately. We only have 14 pages, but it was a very hype 14 pages. It continues, with Charmy being there and her explaining to Asta how she got there, that she was with and she grabbed onto his cloak and she was riding on him over here, and when they got here they just ended up splitting, and she ended up luckily getting here, and Asta's still fighting off the evil plant magic that's coming at him, thanks to Val and Ovale. I'm not sure if you pronounce it Vile or Vale, but I'm gonna say Vile. And he just keep painting evil creatures, and it looks like they literally in hell. And he's painting all these creatures to attack them, and he's getting really depressed because what he really wants to draw, he's not drawing. And somehow Charmy snuck up there behind him, and instead of attacking him, she offered him a plate of food. And he slaps it, and he's like, "I don't want your junk, you filthy human." And of course that got her upset. And we seen like this evil ram behind her, and it looked like she was about to go ham, until he blew her away, and she fell, and she looked badly hurt in the ground. But then Asta, surprisingly, and Mimosa started to notice that the scene where she was at, the area, started to look different, and there was like this weird force growing out of her body. And even the other elf, Val, he was like, "What's going on? I've sensed this presence before." And when Charmy got up, she basically was in her other form. She's not in her chibi form anymore. She's actually like a full-grown human. And her hair is now long, not pinned up. And her sheep that's usually with her, that big sheep that we usually see, that's part of her cotton magic, is no longer a sheep. It's a wolf. And we found out, thanks to the elf Val, that she's actually a half-dwarf. And that was pretty amazing, because Asta was like, "Yo, what's a dwarf?" And Mimosa explained that her grandfather taught her a little bit about the dwarves. And supposedly they're an ancient race, like the elves, that also had very unique magic. And Charmy became her dwarf form, and her magic started to change. Instead of her having, she still had like counting magic, I guess, but it felt different because she has an ability where she can eat magic, which is pretty OP. And she ate all his magic, and she fused it with hers, and she does like this epic cotton punch at him. And she is really not shown if like she defeated him or not, but in the end of the chapter it looks like he's done. Like she punches him and he starts flying off. So he could be still alive and up and able to fight, but after that punch, I'm not sure. In my opinion, I don't think he's going to be able to get up. Even if he does, he's most likely going to be badly hurt. Not to mention Asta and Mimosa are still there, fully healed. I can't say they're not really hurt. Basically, they can still fight, so it's technically 3 against 1. Even though I don't think Charmy is going to need their help as strong as she is right now. And that's basically the end of the chapter. Like I said, it was a very short chapter this week, like it's been lately. It's 14 pages, but it was an awesome chapter. And I want to address, because I know a lot of people, because I read the comments on Magastream and stuff, and other sites that I go to for translations. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, this is an ass pull, blah, blah, blah. This is BS. There's no way all of a sudden now dwarves exist, and Charmy somehow apparently is to be one, and she's just there in a convenient plan for Asta." And when you think about it, really, it's not really convenient or a plot. I mean, you got to think about it. We've been hinted at before that something was unique about Charmy. I mean, her and Henry are both the first and second strongest of the Black Bulls after Captain Yami. So, and Henry was basically sealed away. Nobody knew about him until they stumbled upon him. So we know about Charmy though. We knew she was actually the highest rank in the Black Bulls. and the second strongest after Yami. So finding out that she's a half dwarf kind of makes sense why she's so strong. Not to mention, we have seen her before in the past. We've seen her chibi form that we used to seeing, and then we've seen that adult form a couple of times. So it has been hinted that something's up with her. Since that magic is not part of her magic, there always been like a little hint that something was up with her, but we didn't know what until this chapter. So I believe it does make sense, her being a dwarf. It just depends on how they explain her history and backstory. Like, which parent was the dwarf gene come from, and how come she didn't know about it? Did they keep it a secret so she wouldn't be outcast? Like how half-elves were outcast, so. And what's her family lineage and stuff like that, and is there more dwarves, or are the dwarves like the elves? They go into humans that they reincarnate into, but they're more peaceful, and instead of taking out bloodlust like the elves, they're more chill and nonchalant. Maybe they, because in any story where you have an elf, there's always dwarves, and dwarves and elves always have that bit of rivalry. So I wouldn't be surprised if the dwarves are like the elves, but just the complete opposite of them. Probably instead of hating humans, they probably like humans. That's probably why they reincarnate into them, maybe. Or maybe she actually is born a half-elf / half-dwarf / human. But that needs to be explained. But again, I don't believe at all that it's a cop-out or a BS pull or just plot armor for her to save Asta. Because Asta was doing perfectly fine by himself with Mimosa there. So he would have eventually won. Especially if he would have tapped into his demon form, he would have definitely won very quickly. But again, I just can't wait for next week's chapter. I want to see Charmy throwing more hands, and I want to see more of her backstory, because she always was one of the interesting members of the Black Bulls, not including Asta and Noelle. She was like always the most interesting, her and Henry. So, and we already got Henry backstory and magic, so now we just need hers. But this was a really good chapter. Again, not too long, but it is what it is. Great chapter. If you have not read it, go read it. 194 of Black Clover. Great chapter. That's all I have for you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Give this video a like. Please hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I post the upload. Follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below. And have a good one and peace out.